excited to be here with Teachable. When they contacted me, I was like, what? This is exciting. I want to get started, and we're going to talk about Pinterest secrets that every business owner needs to know. First of all, I just want to tell you a little bit about me. Number one, I'm the crazy cat lady. And a mom of 2 teens, and I've got my husband, of course, but I love dogs. So all of you that are not cat people, my son is allergic to dogs. So I had to do something else, and cats. So this is so funny. So I wanted to put my picture of my cats on here, and the little one is our pandemic baby. And he is like super famous. More people care about him on my Instagram over on Amy Locurto than they do about me. So he's really funny. And so I just thought that'd be a fun little icebreaker to get to know me a little bit. Like Ashley said, I've been a professional graphic designer for over 25 years, and I had a design firm for many years. And I was home with my 2 little kids and working. I worked for, my clients were Fortune 500 companies. So I've done a lot. I started my career with Fossil. I was the watch company. I was one of the very first art directors there, and I did packaging and I made products. And so I've been in this art world for years and years and years. And then I was home with my kids, and I just started a blog just to kind of tell people or show my family what I was doing at home with my kids, just for fun. And I named it Living Locurto after I was really obsessed with Ricky Martin at the time. And I was always walking around singing, Living La Vida Locurto, come on. And that became my blog name, which is stupid, but who can say it? It's like, who can even say Locurto, or let alone find it? That was not the best name that I came up with. But I'm home with 2 kids, frazzled with 50 clients at the time, going nuts. So anyway, I started sharing things that I was doing at home with my kids, like parties and cute cakes and cupcakes and recipes and just cute food. I would turn like a vegetable tray into something awesome. And anyway, things started going crazy on the internet. So Living Locurto was born. And then Pinterest came out a couple of years later. And like I said earlier, I was one of the very first people on there when you had to have an invitation and everything. And so I started on Pinterest back in the day. And that was when it was pretty amazing. Like, you could just be on there and you could get tons of traffic. And we were like, what is going on? So I became one of the very first people that ever used Pinterest. And over the years, and I will get to that later, but over the years, I just got asked question after question after question. And I'm like, maybe I could teach about what I'm doing. I've done this. I've been a blogger for 12 years. I have done everything. I think I have a lot to offer. So I started Amy's Circle, which is hosted on Teachable, and it's courses all about Pinterest. And then, since I've been a graphic designer for so long, this is what I do for companies. So I started creating templates in Canva that you can use for totally free on Canva. You use my templates and just drag and drop your information, because I have been on Pinterest for 10 years. I know it works. I can also design for any big brand out there. And I work with a lot of big brands. So I know commercial advertising. Okay. So I kind of put all of those things into Amy's Circle, and I've got templates now. I've even moved on to Facebook. Like, I'm moving on to different templates for different platforms. But anyway, that's what Amy's Circle is. And now I'm like a Pinterest strategist, which is really fun. And now I have a lot of, I have a mastermind community and a great group of people that I help teach about Pinterest. So what happened was Pinterest, I used to not really like Pinterest, and I would write articles about just for other DIY lifestyle bloggers or food bloggers, whoever was on Pinterest. Just, we have to learn how to protect ourselves, protect our photos, and we can utilize it. So then Pinterest calls me up, and they're like, hey, Amy, do you want to meet for lunch? And I'm thinking, yeah, it's Pinterest. Who gets that call, So I thought it was going to be me and about 50 other influencers. And I show up to lunch, and it's just one person from Pinterest. And I'm like, where's everybody else at? And she's like, it's just you. And I go, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like you guys now. I'm sorry I wrote all those articles. And they're like, no. We just love your content and we love what you're doing on Pinterest and we want you to help us. And they were doing a Pinterest ambassadors. So they said, can you help us form this new thing we're going to do with Pinterest ambassadors? I'm like, yeah, sign me up. So I helped them form that new thing. And so I had really cool photos of me at Pinterest and me with the founders of Pinterest, but they didn't show up in my slide. Sorry, but they were really cool. Just imagine me at Pinterest doing all kinds of cool things. And then I would host events. And then the very first employee of Pinterest, and she's amazing, she just couldn't keep up with the demand because people were asking her to travel around and go to all these conferences. So she's like, hey, Amy, can you just do this for me? And we'll send you somewhere and you can speak on my behalf. And I was like, yeah, I did that. So I was kind of the little brand ambassador for Pinterest. And I went around and spoke at everything from VidCon to small little, retreats that people were having. That's what I did. And so I was very immersed in the Pinterest culture in many years ago. I think this is like 6 years ago. So I've been doing this for a long time. And then I was like, okay, maybe I can teach this. So I started Amy's Circle, and I just know right now a lot of people are down on Pinterest just because it's a bad time just for people. People are vacationing. It's summer. It's okay. It's going to kick back up. But I wanted to tell you guys what Pinterest has done for me. And number one, it's helped me make $1 million, over $1 million. That's amazing. One social media platform that can do that. And then that's not included on my other social media platforms and my blog. That's just Pinterest. Okay. Woo! Okay. Don't you want to make $1 million? Okay. And it helped me become the speaker I am today because they had faith in me that I could go and represent them at these big conferences. So I had to get up on the stage and do the things. And sometimes people didn't even show up, because they didn't know what Pinterest was. And I still would speak to like the 10 people that were in the audience, where Facebook would have a, standing room only group. And I was like, wah, wah, hi, I'm a Pinterest girl. Come see me. This was years ago before anybody really knew what it was. So it helped me have confidence, become the speaker I am today. It introduced me to huge brands. Okay. I've worked with so many brands, but one of the big ones is Coca-Cola, and Pinterest. Actually, we worked together and with some other influencers to help get Coca-Cola a better presence on Pinterest. So that was before they had sponsorship or ads and all the things. It's allowed me to spend more time with my family and given me time to travel the world. So I love Pinterest. And I was glad to see some of you guys in the comment section just talk about how much you love Pinterest. It's not just for inspiration. It's also for business. It is such a great place to promote what you are selling, to promote your services. You can be a brick and mortar. You can be a online digital marketer. You can be a course creator or a psychic medium. Anything goes on Pinterest. And it's not just to find pretty things. It's a search engine. So basically, when I first started, nobody knew anything about Pinterest, but before I started Amy's Circle and teaching courses and teaching other people how to use this is what I started with. And you can see my impressions. Here's just a screenshot. This is everything just from my blog, livinglocurto.com. This is not all the other pins that I pin or other people's content, just my content. So I was, my audience was about 16 million a month. I was getting 30 million impressions a month. Insane, right? I thought that was a lot. So then I started working on, can I teach this, right? So I really sat down and thought about my strategy and a system that I could teach. So I tested it out. This is what I ended up with after testing my own system. This is a screenshot of 52 million impressions a month. I was reaching about 19 million people a month. Okay, this went up. This is just a little bit. This went up to about 60 million plus. So I'm like, okay, my confidence is here. I'm ready to teach. When you teach something, you want to make sure you're teaching something that really works. And I'm not just going to go out and tell you, do what I did, because that might not work for everybody. Pinterest is basically a long game. So I can give you all these secrets. They are not going to work overnight. All right. And that's okay, because you've worked really hard to create a course or a coaching business. Maybe you've made products and you're just not really sure now how to market that. You've got an online shop or a landing page to sell products. You're a blogger or you have a website. You've worked really hard to grow that email list, or maybe you want to get more people on your email list to sell to. You've done all that hard work. Or even if you haven't and you're working on it, Pinterest is going to help you. It's just, there's 40 million people on Pinterest. And I always kind of cringe when I hear people that they haven't even used Pinterest to market anything. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't understand. It is amazing. So I just wanted to tell you before we get started, it's a long game. And here is one of the great results that someone had from taking my Pinterest course. And this is Audrey. Audrey's been blogging for over 12 years too, just like me. Before she took my course, she had 6,000 page views from Pinterest. That was it. Like, she didn't really use it that much. Her Pinterest traffic went from 6,000 a month to 30,000 a month. And this was just after, I think, like 5 weeks. And her monthly viewers went from 1 million to 7 million. And I bet it's a lot higher now. This is like last year. She was able to get into Mediavine, which, if you don't know what that is, it's an ad network. So it's hard to get into. You have to have a lot of traffic, and then they manage your ads on your website. So you can be making income from ads on your site, which is a huge way that bloggers make their income. And that was a goal of hers. So she had never been able to get into any ad work over these 12 years until she took my course. And I'm just like, this is thrilling. It's thrilling. So if you're a blogger, I hope you will really look into taking my course, or even if you just want to grow whatever you're doing, it works for anybody. Okay. So what you're going to learn today are best kept secrets for why you need to be on Pinterest. I think a lot of people are confused, like, what is Pinterest? And I thought it was just for inspiration and pretty things. Now I'm going to show you. And it's a good secret. And then you're also going to learn how to get started if you've never tried Pinterest marketing. You're going to get simple steps for growing your traffic and sales through Pinterest. And you're going to learn what you need to be doing now to gain traction on Pinterest. And you'll get some easy tools to take care of your Pinterest marketing. Just take it to the next level. Why you should be using Pinterest. Let's get started. Spoiler alert. There's not that much competition. And when I was going around speaking on Pinterest behalf, I cracked up because everybody's in that Facebook group. Like, I remember I was at VidCon. It was there were thousands and thousands of people. And if you've never been to VidCon, it's crazy. It's in LA. And there was all of these people in the Facebook, and then maybe like 50 people in my room. And I told them that. I go, you guys are the smart ones, because there's not that much competition. So I know all of you will succeed, because all of those other people on Facebook, in the Facebook group, they're fighting for each other. They're fighting for that place in the feed. We don't have to fight for that. It's just there for the taking. And even though it's grown through the years, and there's lots more users, and there's 400 million users, and there's a lot of people that are businesses, have a business account, it's still pretty easy. It's very simple, because there's not a lot of people that are doing Pinterest marketing. Okay, and I wanted to tell a story of how it helped me during a hard time. This last fall, I was hospitalized because I was working myself to the bone and I gave myself a blood clot. So I had to go into the hospital, and it was during the busiest season of my business. But because of Pinterest, I didn't have to worry. My advertising and my marketing was taken care of, all for free. Now, I don't pay for promoted pins. This is just things that I had worked on up until the point till I was hospitalized. So at that point, I could just smooth sail. And what I didn't realize is that people were just pinning my pins. I was getting more traffic to my website and my shop, and my sales were happening while I was out. And like, I was out. I was in the hospital. I was stressed out, but I didn't have to do a thing. I was making money anyway. It didn't matter. Thank you, Pinterest. So I think that, you might have to work a little harder in the beginning, but once you figure it out and you take my course and I teach you all the ways, you will be able to, don't worry if you have to go into the hospital because you have a blood clot. All's good now. I don't have it anymore and I'm fine. But that's just a great example of why I love it so much, because other social media platforms, they take work and you have to be on it every day, maybe hours a day. And with Pinterest, I seriously maybe do it an hour a week, sometimes not even that long, just because I figured out my system and I can do this in my sleep now. So here's one of my favorite secrets. All right. Using Pinterest can help you on Google. If you didn't realize this, it is like magic how Pinterest and Google work together. And I don't know how this works. And I will show you in the next slide, but there is some magic going on with those two. So if you are a smaller website or you've just started a shop and you don't have a lot of ranking on Google, Pinterest is your friend, and Pinterest gives everybody else a chance. And that's what I love about it, because Amy Locurto has been around for a long time, but I don't have all of those number one ranking things on Google like a lot of my friends do. And, but because of Pinterest, I rank. Oh, it's awesome. So you will not see this on Instagram, TikTok, or anything. It is just Pinterest. So let me show you an example. You can see right here, the first, it does happen with Facebook every now and then, but not often do you see Facebook beating Pinterest on Google. So Pinterest, the second one in this Google search, let's say I was looking for a black cat tattoo and ideas for that, or where can I get one? The second one here that says 250 black cat tattoo ideas, that's a board. That's a Pinterest board. But the next one, the third one on this search on Google is a pin. And I will show you the pin in a second, because I was like, this person here, I'll show you. So if you click on that, it is Jessica. Jessica has 14 followers, y'all. 14. You do not need a ton of followers on Pinterest to be indexed. Now, if you have a tattoo parlor or something, you better start pinning black cat tattoos, because you can rank amazing. And this girl, Jessica, with her 14 followers, let's say she had a shop or something. She could sell, let's say these are just like peel off tattoos or something. She could have a shoppable pin right to her shop, and she gets sales galore, all for being on Pinterest and having 14 followers. It does not matter. There is some magic going on. I've discovered this whenever I was looking in my Google search console. And that is kind of where you can look at your website stats of what is going on over on Google for your website. So I was looking at that and I was ranking for this really big keyword, but I'm like, but I'm not getting Google traffic to that post on my website. I'm confused. So I click and it took me to Google, which was actually one of my pins. So then what people were doing was I was number one in search for this awesome keyword. It was huge. I had no idea. So then I was number one. My pin was number one. So people would click on that. They would go over to Pinterest, and then I'd get Pinterest traffic. It all came from Google. Right? So if you have a blog or a website and you track your Google and your Pinterest, a lot of your Pinterest traffic is actually Google traffic. So this is a huge secret. And this is just something that everybody, we're all going to know this, right? And we're just going to creep in there and use these, get these keywords and hopefully get ranked in Google. So that's one reason why that is one of the main secrets and one of the best reasons why you need to be on Pinterest. This Jessica is killing it with her black cat tattoo. Now I've seen all kinds of things. I just picked this one out because I thought it was fun. My next secret is you need to set everything up correctly. All right. And The first thing you need to do is to get a business account. Why, you ask? Because it's required by Pinterest. If you do anything commercial, you sell products, you make money somehow by your pins, it is required to have a business account. And it's great because it's free. You just have to set it up, and it's all on the Pinterest website. If you don't know how to do that, you can easily turn your personal account into a business account. You'll be able to see all kinds of analytics and metrics. You will get rich pins, which I'll show you what those are in just a minute if you don't know. And you'll be able to promote pins if you would like. I don't do that. I have no knowledge of that. So I'm just going to put that out there in case you guys ask questions about that. I don't do that. This comes down to you are a pro and you want to become a power pinner. So get that business account. And I'm going to show you what a rich pin is for those of you that don't understand what that is. And it's optional. You do not have to do rich pins. It's a setting you can turn on, and you don't have to get them if you don't want. But it's something that Pinterest loves. Like, they like it because if you see, here's one of my pins, and it just pulls the meta tag information from my website. So it pulls my ingredients for my recipes and the description in the meta tag information. So if let's say a user came to my website, one of my readers, and wanted to pin this pin, I don't have to worry about them typing in a description. So they might say, recipe I want to make tomorrow. Well, that's not going to get me in any search. It's not going to get me in the search for Pinterest because those aren't keywords. I want to fill my meta tag information, just like what you're doing for Google, with information that people are searching for. So that's what I like about rich pins. And you can see the ingredients. I personally, as a user, like them more because if I'm dairy-free and gluten-free, I want to look. It will tell you. The rich pins will tell you this is a gluten-free, dairy-free recipe right there. And there's different types of rich pins. So for this one, it's a recipe rich pin. And if you don't do recipes, there's an article rich pin. So it won't, you won't have ingredients, but it's going to pull the information that's within your website. So you can choose which one you want to do. All you have to do is add a simple piece of code into your website. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute for Teachable. Okay. This is a great secret. You need to verify your website. Okay. This sounds easy, but it's a super, super big secret because, like for me, I have my website, which is livinglocurto.com. And then I have my Teachable site, which is Amy Circle, and it's hosted with Teachable, 2 different websites. So let's say I'm pinning things from Living Locurto. That's what's verified on my Living Locurto business account. So that tells Pinterest, this is the right thing that we need to be promoting, okay? This is this person's website. It has been verified. It is a real website. It's not spam, blah, blah, blah. Always verify your website that you are going to be using. So like, you might want to have a whole nother business account that's for your Teachable site or your shop, whatever it is. So that will get more just in the search, in the feed and they will actually know this is a real site. It's not spam. That is just one of the secrets that a lot of people don't know about is if they're just pinning all kinds of things from all their different websites, really the one that's verified is going to do the best. So you're going to get the most traffic and the most sales from the one that's verified. So really be smart about which one you're verifying. If you have a Teachable course or anything, this is how you put the code in Teachable. So once you set up your rich pins, it will give you a code, and you just go to your site theme and click on code snippets. Here I've showed you, and go to the head code snippets and just copy and paste that code right there and hit save and go back to Pinterest, and it will be like, give you a little check mark. The same on your website. You go into your heading, and you can add the code there. So, if you've got several other Pinterest accounts, like you have one that's personal and one that's business, maybe turn that personal one into another business. That's what I just did. I was like, why didn't I do that before? Okay, the next secret is to use it. And this seems pretty obvious, but I will tell you why I think it's so good to use it. Use it as your own search tool. You can set up a few personal boards I have several personal boards. I have one like all about swimming pools just because I like to dream. And when I'm on there working, I see, oh, that's a really pretty pool. I'm going to add that to my pool board. I'm using it like a real user, and doing this will help you to see what new features are available. If you're just using it for business and you're not using it like a real user, you won't know about a lot of things. You'll get a boost in results just by being active too. Pinterest loves that. If they see you, even if you're pinning something that isn't really anything to do with your business, like swimming pools, it's okay because you're just being active. They're a business person, they're a creator, and they're using it. And it's a win-win for everybody. So I always tell people, just use it. You're going to see all the new features that come out. Be like, oh, and jump on that. And I think the first people to do things on, anything, any social media platform that's new will get the, early bird catches the worm, right? And a lot of people are worried about their, what happens is when I start pinning swimming pools, I will start seeing more swimming pools in my feed. And that's not really, I'm like, crap, I wasn't on here to do pool stuff, but I just happened to do that. So you can tune your home feed and you can tell it exactly what topics you want to see. So go to pinterest.com/edit and you can go over to your little icon on the top right and go to tune your home feed. And here it will give you a history and all your boards and your topics. So if you're seeing things that, like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm seeing all these like people that don't look like me, or I don't even want to see this. It will give you topics that you're probably already looking at. Like here it says long hair because I was looking for a hairstyle, like remove that. I'm not I don't need to see people's beautiful long hair anymore because I've got my haircut that I wanted. And you can see all the things that I search. I'm like Disney, crafts, recipes, food and drink, because that's what I want to see. And I like to see what other people are doing, and I also pin those things as well, just for personal. So this is a great way that you can fix that. Do this every now and then because it doesn't allow you to add topics. It only allows you to remove them. So, and another secret is to make content for Pinterest. And I will explain what I'm talking about here. All right. You need to make content that Pinterest users want. I will just tell you right now, you're not going to be successful if you just pin willy-nilly things and you don't have a strategy. You might do well, like something might take off and go viral. It's going to be probably an accident, or it got featured on Google and then it's going crazy on Pinterest. But that doesn't happen that often without a strategy. So you could be marketing your content. It does super well over on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or YouTube, wherever you are. But that doesn't mean it's going to work on Pinterest. Pinterest people like a certain thing. They are looking for specific things. And sometimes it does overlap with Google. And that is why I love Pinterest. And when you're thinking like, well, what kind of content do I make? Or what, here's a strategy tip. Just like your business, your pins need to solve a problem. People are on Pinterest not only for inspiration, but reality, it is a powerful search engine, and not just for pretty things and weddings. It's for anything, like a black cat tattoo, whatever. It can be for power tools. Like, what power tool do I use to make a deck? People actually search that kind of stuff on Pinterest. So think of it like, okay, I've got this course. Well, I'm solving someone's problem. Like maybe, whatever it is, they need to reach out to their loved one and they need a psychic medium. How do I do that? That's where you get on Pinterest and you explain people what your services are and how you can solve that problem. You definitely don't want to waste your time. So think about asking yourself these questions. Why is your content not working on Pinterest? Like, did you just pin something willy-nilly and you didn't even think about it? You didn't put any thought into it. Are you solving the problems that people are searching for on Pinterest? And then what can you change or do differently? And this is where I will get into how to do that. It's very simple. And what's so crazy is Pinterest just gives us the information, but they might not be telling you how. So I'm going to tell you how. Trends Untitled.pinterest.com. Okay, Pinterest launched this, but it was kind of on the down low. It was very secretive. They don't really talk about it, but it's there. If you have a Pinterest business account, you should be able to see trends, or you can go here to this URL, trends.pinterest.com. This is incredible, valuable information. It is telling you the trends and what is going on right now on Pinterest. You don't need to worry about it. This will tell you. So definitely check that out. I'm just kind of going to go over and show you. Like for me, this is what I see. I'll see like food and drinks, and it tells me right here, rigatoni recipes, camping meals. There's another rigatoni. Rigatoni was really popular whenever I did the slide. You can tell it's around Memorial Day desserts, summer dinner recipes, dinner ideas, and then beauty. It just goes on and on through different categories. And it's usually the top categories that are, really popular on Pinterest, but that doesn't mean there are not other categories that are doing well. These are just going to be the top ones that you will see on the trends for Pinterest. And a lot of times it's the same trends. I have a daughter, teenager, she's on TikTok. So a lot of it is, I'm like, oh, Draco Malfoy, here, I've got my Slytherin cup, is trending on Pinterest. And my daughter will be like, yeah, it's because of TikTok. Everybody's talking about him. They like him again. I'm like, what? So you won't see that on Google. If you haven't ever used Pinterest trends, this is just a simple way. You can type in keywords and actually you can see the topics and when they start to peak, what the time of the year people are searching for it. And you can compare up to like 4 or 5 different topics. It's really cool. And so I just started typing in like summer recipes, and what happened was it will give you at the bottom the popular pins, and it will give you related trends. So then I started seeing pasta salad recipe. So I'm like, well, I'm going to type in pasta salad and see how that compares to just summer desserts. And pasta salad recipe, you can see, is the green line. Well, hello, I need to be making pasta salad recipes, right? Because it is higher than all the other things. So people at the time were searching for pasta salad recipes. Go into Pinterest trends and do a search, and you can find the topics that work for Pinterest. And it just makes it so simple. We do not have to work so hard. And that brings me to my next secret is you need to actually make people stop scrolling. So you need to make awesome fresh pins. And if you don't know what a fresh pin is, it's basically, Pinterest says that it's graphics, photos, and video that they have not seen before. So it's like fresh content. And it does not necessarily mean it has to be new content. You can make several different pin graphics that link to the same blog post or landing page or product listing or course page, whatever it is. But each of those would be fresh because they're going to look different. So when you save it for the first time, it's a fresh pin. Stop repinning the same thing 100 million times. We don't like that. And they're going to push that down into the bottom of the search. So the fresh pins actually do really well. I'm always on there and I'm always finding great information. So it's just if you're not there, get on it. That's all I have to say.